Hey, hello, I'm Kråkan, also known as Chorus Cornix, and welcome to Yacc, yet another Crowcast where I pick a game I played for a week and then I talk about it. This week's game is Tekken 3 for the PlayStation. It was released in 1998 and it's a fighting game. But the way I played it was on the PlayStation 5, so it's like an upscaled version released this year, 2025. Developed by Namco and published by Sony Computer Entertainment, leased here in Europe. And there will be spoilers up ahead, just so you know, but first a little backstory. So when I was a teenager, about a million years ago, you were either an Nintendo 64 guy or a PlayStation guy, and that's how it was back then, at least where I grew up. And as an adult, I really don't care about it now, it's just funny looking back at it. So when I was a teenager, we had this youth center, and it sounds terrible to say, but it's like a place where teenagers hang out, play games, and do other things other than drugs, I guess, and bad activities. So one of these occasions where we were having pizza, I believe, and it was a 24-hour session where we played games such as GoldenEye 007, and Tekken 3 was on the other TV, I believe. And I had a lot of fun. We trade controllers and games, and I know nothing about Tekken back then other than it looked super cool. And I wish I could go back to those days because those days are so nostalgic and everything was just so much more simpler back then. So the plot of this game goes something like this. 15 years after the second Iron Fist tournament, Heihachi Mishima established the Tekken Force to protect his enterprise/company. And one day, an ancient temple was found in Mexico with a creature called the Ogre, which is this, well, creature with immense fighting power. And of course, Heihachi wants this power for himself somehow, harnessing it. And Ogre had at this point been killing world-class fighters, well, throughout the world. And Jin gets marked by a devil and trains under the watchful eye of Heihachi Mishima, his grandfather, in order to beat Ogre. And he does this because Ogre burned down his village and led to his mom's disappearance and possible death. And after this, the Iron Fist Tournament 3 takes place. But there are more to this story, and there are a lot of characters in this game, and everyone has their own story and reason for being in this tournament in the first place. So at the start of the game, you get Namco Presents, and then you get the cinematic opening introducing the characters of the game. And sadly, this is just an upscaled version of the PlayStation port, but it's fine. And then you're prompted to press start. But if you wait a bit, you get a demo or a couple of demos. But if you press start, you're in for a lot of things to go through. You have the arcade mode, you have the versus mode, you have the team battle mode, you have the time attack, you have survivor mode, you have Tekken Force, and options. And if you play through the game, you can unlock such other modes as Tekken Ball and Theater. So the main characters that you can play from the beginning are Sayu, Yoshimitsu, Nina Williams, Martial Law, or Forest Law, I can't remember, Horang, Eddie Gordo, Paul Phoenix, King, Lei Wulong, and Jin Kazama. So each of the characters have their own movesets, they have their own martial arts and their own fighting style altogether. It's kind of cool, actually. And some of the characters have unblockable attacks, such as Paul Phoenix's, well, punch, and you have Yoshimitsu's sword stab, and it's kind of cool. I really like this game. So just to be clear, this week I played arcade mode the most, because here's where you unlock most of the characters. So you fight these matches, and each match lasts 2 rounds. And you fight until you get to Heihachi Mishima and Ogre and True Ogre, which is the final boss. So by completing the arcade mode repeatedly, you can unlock Panda/Kuma, Yulia, Gunjack, Mukujin, Anna Williams, Brian Fury, Heihachi Mishima, Ogre, and True Ogre. So there are 2 more characters that I could talk about, Gon and Dr. B, but I'll save them for the Easter egg secrets and glitches section. So you can also unlock costumes for most of the characters, such as Jin and Sayu in particular, where they have their school clothes on, and it's kind of weird seeing Jin in a school outfit, but there you have it. So my favorite one of these skins are Eddie's tiger skin, which is this 70s kind of floofy kind of hair going on. So you unlock this costume by beating the game with 17 different characters, and while you have Eddie Gordo selected, you press start on the selection menu. So what exactly did I do this week? Well, I played arcade mode and survivor mode the most. I even attempted a bit of Tekken Force in order to unlock one of the special characters. I also unlocked Gon in survival mode. There's a trick to that, but I'll save it for a little bit. So once you beat arcade mode with the character you selected, you will get their cinematics and then the credits roll. And another funny fact this week that I found out the hard way about is this game doesn't save automatically, so you have to go into the options and select the memory card and save manually. And I wasn't expecting that because I guess I'm so spoiled by today's game standards that it saves automatically. So I was like, where's my character? I remember I unlocked a couple of characters and then I turned the system off and it's like, oh, you have to save manually. That's kind of stupid. And if the game feels too easy or too hard, you can change the difficulty settings in the options. You can also, well, and this is my opinion, you just get good at the game. So you can enter practice mode where you practice each of the characters' combos and you learn all of their movesets and you get better at the game. And that's fun, at least to me. So for the rest of the week, I just played casually, unlocking stuff and characters, and I just had fun. And that's the way games are supposed to be. So, gameplay. Enter the Iron Fist tournament, unlock characters, modes, and just have fun while doing so. Control, the D-pad is movement and sidestepping. Triangle and square is punch, X and circle is kicks, and triangle and square together is grab. And there's also this function I didn't quite understand, but they have this rewind function where you can rewind certain actions, and that's just cheating because then you can, redo a match flawlessly. Graphics. So the graphics are a bit jagged, but the upscaling is pretty good. You have to remember that this was for the original PlayStation back in the day, but it just looks the way that I remember it looking on a TV, if that makes sense, and that's a huge compliment. Sound and music. Nobuyoshi Sano and Kenichi Okabe made the soundtrack for this game. Each of the characters have their own specific theme, and everyone... I like all of them, that's what I'm trying to say, but I especially like Jin's theme, Yoshimitsu's, and Paul's. And Gon's theme is just so funny. I think I'm going to use it for the opening of the episode, actually. Easter egg, secrets, and glitches. So to unlock Tekken Ball mode, you need to beat the arcade mode with all the original characters. And Tekken Ball mode is basically a lethal form of volleyball where if the ball touches the ground, you get hurt. You have to have it on the opponent's side. And it's actually kind of funny to play. So one of the ways to unlock Gon, or at least the way I did it, was beating the survival mode and getting the high scored. So at the end of the survival mode, you're supposed to enter a 3-digit, not code, but enter your name with 3 initials. Instead of entering whatever, you enter Gon, and then the character is unlocked. So Gon is this cute little orange dinosaur, and I believe he has his own game series as well. To unlock Dr. B, you have to beat Tekken Force mode a couple of times, earning the bronze, silver, and gold key. And he is basically the end boss, but I couldn't get that far, and it's not worth it in my opinion because it gets harder each time you progress in that mode, and you're faced upon waves of enemies, and it's not even fun at the end. So in conclusion, I wrote play it. So I actually beat the game on arcade mode with all the playable characters except for Dr. B this week. So when Thursday night rolled around, I was like, I have nothing better to do, so I beat the game. And the final character that I played as was Mokujin because his moveset is totally random each round, so you have to get good with pretty much every of the character. So the game looks good, the controls is pretty smooth, and the music is great. It's the right kind of challenge, at least to me. And if you don't like the earlier Tekken games, you can go for the later ones in the series and you won't regret it. So anyway, thank you for listening and or watching, and take care.